Hey guys, Chrono, and I'm back here with Will, and if you remember last time he had the generator deck, but this time he finishes first place out of a field of 16 players, and what were you playing?
I was playing Tenyi Swordsoul today.
Tenyi Swordsoul. Alright, cannot wait to see what you've got here, so go ahead and walk us through the profile.
Alright, so for the most part, pretty standard. 3 Melee, 2 Taya, 3 Long Yun for the Swordsoul package for monsters.
Awesome.
For the Tenyis, 2 Vishuda for bouncing, 2 Adhara for recycling, 3 Ashuna for specialing, and then 1 Sthana for the Heavenly Dragon Circle play.
Okay. And you feel those ratios are super consistent?
For the most part, I think the only thing that I may in the future change is a 3rd Vishuda. It comes up in late game, but I don't really have the space for it at the moment.
Okay, that makes sense.
For the round out the monsters, we've got 3 Ecclesia, also pretty standard. 1 Protoss. The card really needs to go.
It put in major work today.
Absolutely busted. And then for hand traps, 2 Ash and 2 Veiler.
Oh, wow. Do you feel that's the right ratio for that as well?
I feel like if I were to cut anything, I'd cut Veilers just because they lose to talents. And if I did that, I would play probably an additional Ash or an additional Infinite Impermanence.
Okay.
Then on to the spells. Play 3 Emergence, wrote it for the deck. 2 of the Heavenly Dragon Circle for dodging Imperm and Veiler.
Yeah, and that came up at times. Yes.
I played a mirror match twice, and the second effect for both of us came up multiple times to banish an added Tenyi in like a really rough situation. Again, it's kind of a good reason to play like the 3rd Vishuda. It's like in late game you can banish this, add a Vishuda to bounce whatever like a floodgate is or any kind of problems you have.
Absolutely.
I played 2 Desires. I could bump this to 3. I just again can't find the room at the moment.
I find that interesting. So have you? Because I saw Desires everywhere today.
Oh yeah.
Did you find that didn't affect your ratio at all? Like, did you ever banish what you needed?
A handful of times late game, I probably banished a couple Swordsoul monsters I needed, but it never really came up. At least today, I have in the past like used Desires twice in the game and like really kind of screwed myself with that.
Okay.
But I mean, as long as I don't double Desires, I'm usually pretty okay unless I absolutely banish everything I need at the time.
Now you did say you could play 3 possibly. Why would you bump it up to 3?
I honestly wouldn't. I seem to have a problem of desiring into another Desires or 2 Desires, and that just feels incredibly bad. But again, with the banishing cards you need, if I have 3, then that means that like I'm gonna banish the Desires twice in the same game, and that usually feels bad because I usually get the stuff I need.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
1 copy of Instant Fusion. There's a monster for this in the extra deck that's a tuner. It just comes up if you get Impermed or Veiler. Let you go into a single play still.
Okay.
1 Sacred Summit, Monster Reborn for the deck. Good.
That card's really funny.
Triple Chalice, just in case anyone's on the Scythe Lock combo.
I have to say, this has been very impressive. I like it. It's a nice, cheap version of Infinite Impermanence, and I've seen a ton of people putting this in their builds.
Yeah, it just really helps with the Scythe Lock. Really helps with DPE sometimes. Also, you can in damage step you can hit your own monster for a little extra.
Oh yeah, if you need to get over the hump,
little
absolutely.
Extra hump,
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice
do you find that came up big for you today? Did you use the Forbidden Chalice a lot?
That paired with like Veiler or that paired with Imperm several times just helps me like have 2 interruptions even if I have no monsters on the field or I'm locked behind a floodgate like Tikaboo. Like it's extra help, but also again it's not a monster, so it doesn't lose to triple tactic talents.
Yep,
So, like, that's
absolutely.
super important. And the last 2 spells, speaking of, 2 talents. This card came up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of monster stealing to then like normal summon Veiler to go into synchro plays. Drawing 2 to like really get into the cards you need. Didn't use the effect to look at the hand today, but I have done that before. Snipe a new beer.
Sure.
Super helpful to make sure you just don't get your board eaten and just lose on the next turn.
Awesome. Very impressive.
Then for traps, we play 5, 2 blackout. It's inverse attack. It also makes the token. It's really good card.
Yeah.
Another card that needs to go. Imperial Order.
Oh, that put in work. Yeah, there's times where it puts in work. Yeah.
Done some good stuff. And then 2 Infinite Impermanence. Again, monster effect negation that isn't a monster effect, so it doesn't lose the talents.
Interesting. So why not 3?
How late do you stay?
Over the Forbidden Chalice. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Kind of shallow. I only have 2 ultis.
Oh!
I don't want to play a mismatch. Otherwise,
so it was all based on rarity for
yeah,
you.
I packed the second one last night, so it's honestly a shallow thing on my end for sure.
That's
So
hilarious.
43 main deck count.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty tight.
It's a little bit bigger, but I mean, like, there's so many one-card starters, and the Tenyis themselves break boards, so like I usually see at least one of them in my opening hand.
Okay. Awesome.
So for the extra deck. For synchros, we got Yazi.
Yeah.
This comes up against Token Collector a lot.
Oh.
If you like
yeah.
summon Long Yun, which is a level 6, and they Token Collector you can normal summon like Valor. And make this. Or if you special
2 rounds, maybe
any level 4, and you can normal summon Ash, and you can make this.
Okay.
This destroys the Token Collector, that summons whatever you need from deck.
Okay.
Definitely comes up.
starving.
2 Shishao, pretty standard for the most part in the deck. 2 Boxia, which was a change for me as of today. I was only playing 1, but 2 comes up every now and then.
Okay.
So I definitely like that. Draco Berserker comes up against a lot of stuff. It just the banishing effect, and then also it gets
so
really
powerful.
big, really
Yes.
quick. Crimson Blader for a few different decks. It's crazy in the mirror match. They basically can't play the next turn. Dragite, which used to be a flex spot, but honestly, I see more and more players playing this.
Why is that in there?
Spell Trap Negate. If you have
because you've got a water in the grave. Yeah.
So it's almost always live. The other thing too is if you're locked in Tikaboo, which a lot of the Dogmatic and Boat players are playing. Ecclesia plus Moye get you this.
Okay.
And then you can go into another worm monster after that because it's a rock. And then since you use Moye, you can still use the negate.
That's really good.
In simplified game states, if you're top decking, you have this plus a monster negate. They pretty much can't play the game.
Okay.
And they at that point you're gonna win.
Okay.
For Synchro Tins, Barone de Floor.
Yeah.
This card is crazy. It's
so good.
Super good. Cheng Ying, crazy good card. It's really good in the mirror match with Protos. You can call water. And then this can protect itself by banishing the card from grave. So you keep the monster. Your opponent can't summon tokens next turn.
Yeah.
Again, unless they have evenly matched or just like a bunch of negations, you usually win after that point.
Right.
Another change from yesterday to today. Playing 3 monk. I was only playing 2 before. But there are a lot of times where you burn through your monks super quick.
Yeah.
And you only have like 1 or 2 ways to recover. So 3. It came up twice today.
Yeah.
So I definitely like the change.
Okay.
Then Shaman can get anything back from grave. It also lets you discard cards, which sometimes you want certain Tenyis in grave.
Yeah.
So it's super good card. And then the last card is the instant fusion target, the Magic Beast.
Yeah.
I don't know what the effect does. I've never read it. People ask me all the time, and I don't read it. It's just a level 4 tuner. I can summon off instant fusion to make some cards.
Awesome.
And then for the side that I played today,
were there any changes that you made coming into this though with your extra deck?
With the extra deck, it was the 3rd monk and the 2nd Boxia.
Okay.
So yesterday I was playing Rudy Rose and Xiaofeng. I found I never made Xiaofeng ever. The only time to make it where it's really good is against PK, but going from Yazi to that, from a 7 to a 9, is incredibly awkward and hard to do.
Okay.
Unless you have like exactly the right cards. And then the Rudy Rose is really good against like Sky Strikers and Drytron, but I've not been running against either of those recently. So I just cut it for now, and I didn't miss either one of those cards today at all.
Makes sense. Okay.
Then for the extra 3 Nibiru.
Oh yeah.
This one's not ulti, unfortunately. But 3 in the mirror match, it's insane against birds, against not really against Dogmatica, but yeah, against birds and a mirror match. This card's nuts.
Yeah, and I got to see that in the championship round.
We nibbed each other.
Yeah,
he nibbed me game 2. I nibbed him game 3.
Yeah, that card was clutch.
Double Lancia, really good against PK, really good against Invoked.
Yep.
It's also like almost an auto win button against pure Tri-Brigade, or if the Tri-Brigade player doesn't have access to the Leerlusk engine at the time, like it's an auto win button usually. 2 Godarla for the barrier statue.
Yep.
Also works for
especially if you're going against Flunderies.
Problem cards. The other fun thing too is you can special this to your opponent's field. It's a wind, and then you can make Protos and call wind against birds.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to destroy your own Barone.
Nice.
That's super clutch sometimes. I've done that a handful of times. Double Cosmic Cyclone for Floodgates. This deck cannot discard cards, so cards like Droplets and Twin Twisters I've personally found like are not all that good. So this I'm willing to pay the life points to get rid of a problem card.
Makes sense.
Double Lightning Storm. It's Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
Card's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
One red reboot because I have a certain friend who likes to play Harpy's Featherstorm, which is busted.
Yes,
and
is busted.
Needs to be banned.
Yes.
Going second against that. This is the only card that stops that.
That stops that.
Except for the Herald of Purple Light.
Right.
I'm
which
not
not many people are playing that.
Yeah. We don't play that card. And then evenly matched. Most of the meta decks are not. At least the ones I'm playing against are not setting up a lot of spell trap negates. They're mostly monster negates or monster bounces. So this can just eat a board.
Awesome.
This eats Sky Strikers. This eats birds. Like it's one of the only 3 of us besides Nibiru in my side.
Well, what a consistent build, and congratulations again on finishing in first place.
Thank you.
Wait for your next challenge. I know that you'll be back.